Let's get more now. We can bring in Cindy Courville, who served under President George W. Bush as the U.S.'s first ever ambassador to the African Union. It's great to have you on for some more thoughts on this. I wanted to ask you, first of all, about those apparent peace talks we're hearing about between the two sides here. This has been a pretty impactful conflict. How significant do you think this actual peace summit would be?
I think it's a very important step, and important that Angola is taking a leading role in this. Angola, in terms of the president there, and all during the struggles in Congo, has been important to the security of the Congolese people, and in particular the Congolese president, both past and present. I find it interesting that President Tshisekedi is reaching out to the U.S., maybe seeing it as a way to balance out the threat or the perceived threat that he sees from Rwanda in terms of resources and control of his territory.
It's interesting, too, because, of course, we've been hearing a lot about a potential minerals deal between the U.S. and Ukraine in exchange for some sort of security guarantee. At least that's what the president of Ukraine is hoping for. Do we think that this rumored deal would include any sort of U.S. security guarantee for the DRC?
I think what Ukraine is seen as a strategic, point for the U.S. and, of course, for the EU, and a strategic partner where the DRC does not have that status. While it has these resources, the DRC is not, its military is not in the same class as the Ukrainian military. It does not have the same capability and capacity to protect itself, and is quite dependent on the Angolans for its security.
It's interesting, too. I mean, just looking at the feasibility of a minerals deal, I don't believe there's any American companies currently operating in that region. Is this something that you think would be realistic?
You're absolutely correct. There are none. And realistic in the long term, maybe. In the short term, the conditions in the Congo are not secure. American companies, access, transportation, logistics, all of that is problematic. It could be a little bit of a race with the Canadian. I think the company is the Canada Rare Earth Company, is beginning to do exploratory. But Americans companies tend to want to have certain amenities and guarantees there. And most of that is, electricity working all the time. You're not going to have that in that area, right, let alone if there's electricity working there.
It's interesting because obviously this is a very mineral-rich region. We're talking about things like cobalt, lithium, these crucial minerals that countries really want for next-generation technologies. What role is that mineral wealth playing when we just look at the overall conflict between the DRC and these M23 rebels?
I think when you look at the region, the minerals are a part in terms of resources and income, but the issues go far beyond that in terms of the situation dating back to the time of the genocide in Rwanda and Rwandans who fled into eastern Congo and settled there. And Congo's government, both with former President Kabila and President Tshisekedi, lack the capability to secure their own country. So it makes it easy for others to come in, not just Rwanda. Uganda and others have looked at it, Burundi resources. They brought Congo into the East Africa community in an attempt to resolve the political things and to bring a regional component to access to resources. The Congolese haven't always been a good team player with.
Okay. I just want to finish here, about a minute to go. Looking ahead now to these potential peace talks, which side do you think has the upper hand right now? We've been hearing a lot about this rebel group making some pretty significant progress and gains in terms of taking over territory and taking over some major cities there in the DRC.
I'd say the upper hand would be on the side of Rwanda, and unless the Angolans would decide to go into that area, is the only country and leadership who could actually bring it. The South Africans tried valiantly for a peacekeeping mission. There is right now no peace to keep, to use a cliche.
Yeah. Cindy Courville, former U.S. ambassador to the African Union, Thank you for helping us break all that down. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.